Hey there folks, so welcome to Spectrum Pulse. We talk about music, movies, art and culture, and this hits Billboard Breakdown. So I've been predicting for the past couple of weeks that the charts are on the verge of something breaking, and yet thus far the Hot 100 has been doing a fine job making me look like a complete fool for not really doing much of anything at all. Worse yet, the predictions I did make about some pop divas making a splash this week blew up in my face, and as so many of you predicted in the comments of the video last week, the biggest splash we got here was from the debut album from a Boogie with the Hoodie. I gotta be honest, this wasn't even on my radar. It's not on my Patreon schedule, so might as well dive into it now that I have to deal with it on Billboard Breakdown, especially considering our other new arrivals this week don't exactly give us a lot of quality. But really, it feels like the bigger story is in our top 10, where for another week, Cardi B holds up the number 1 with Bodak Yellow. And if I thought his position was precarious before, I'm convinced of it now. As it lost the top spot on streaming, the sales are not stellar, and while YouTube is still good, its radio traction feels a little bit haphazard, a little bit up and down. I'd say that Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage is the easy challenger, with the top streaming spot, okay sales, finally some radio traction at number 2, but we got a new challenger approaching. That's right, thanks to an English language remix with Beyonce, Mihante by J Balvin and Willie William has taken the top of the sales charts and broken into the top 5 at number 3. And considering that streaming is picking up fast and radio's not that far behind, I can see this making a major play in the same vein as what Despacito did a couple months ago. And it's just a shame that this is nowhere close to being as tolerable as that song was. It certainly puts 1-800-273-8255 by Logic featuring Alessia Cara and Khalid in a bit of an awkward position at number 4. Because while its streaming is good, its radio is finally stabilized, I do not like those sales numbers. But the situation somehow looks worse for Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift down to number 5, as it spent the week losing in all categories except for the radio, which somehow seemed to stabilize near the end of the week, as if we want that. But then again, when you put it up against the radio behemoth that is Feel It Still by Portugal the Man at number 6, still sounds weird to say that out loud, you have to wonder whether or not it'll hold up against that song's mediocre streaming but stronger sales. But then we've got our next new top 10 arrival, again based off of a commercial, as I said last week, Come On America, Thunder by Imagine Dragons at number 7. And yet, considering how much airplay traction it now seems to have, this one might actually stick around. Then we got the one pop diva pickup, Sorry Not Story by Demi Lovato went up to number 8, her highest ever charting single, which is kind of amazing considering how badly her sales crashed this week. But radio and on-demand streaming really has gotten on board for this song, so again, it might stick around. Was it above Despacito by Louis Fonsi, Daddy Yankee, and Justin Bieber down to number 9, as it continues to bleed hard in all categories, with YouTube not even providing that much of a stalwart presence anymore. And on that note, Unforgettable by French Montana featuring Sway Lee is also dropping hard down to number 10, as it evaporates in all categories. So on that promising note, our losers and dropouts. A couple of big ones in the latter category this week. I'm the One by DJ Khaled and his whole posse, Stay by Alessia Cara and Zed, Felice Lo Cuatro by Maluma, Fetish by Selena Gomez featuring Gucci Mane, and Back to You by Louis Tomlinson featuring BB Rexa and Digital Farm Animals. But what's telling is that none of these are all that surprising, and that's pretty much the case when you take a look at our losers here. Most of them, they're on their way out naturally, like Feels by Calvin Harris featuring Pharrell, Katy Perry, and Big Sean down to 66, or Whatever You Need by Meek Mill featuring Chris Brown and Ty Dolla $ign down to 100, and Friends by Justin Bieber and Blood Pop, despite me mostly liking the song, hasn't been all that memorable as it fell down to 54. And then there's DNA by BTS losing all of its gains down to 87. Again, I'm not really surprised by this. Don't get mad, because unless it goes crazy viral, I don't see a K-pop group song getting the radio or streaming crossover it needs for longevity on the Hot 100. But where things look a little bit more interesting are in our returning entries and gains. And when I say that, I really mean just our returning arrivals, because our gains are really just following established momentum. Seriously, outside of Mihante, all the other gains they had momentum going into this week, and they were all predictable, including Thunder, which I already discussed earlier. Still not happy at what's in the top 10 though. Then Then you have Havana by Camila Cabello featuring Young Thug, continues to be the pop smash in waiting, up to 29. Perfect by Ed Sheeran is up to 34 with its bland sappiness. No Limit by G-Eazy featuring A$AP Rocky and Cardi B is up to 59 because of our current number 1. And hell, I Fall Apart by Post Malone got momentum to 39 off its debut because of our current number 2. Where I'm more interested are in our 2 returns, both of which I actually kind of like. Skywalker by Miguel and Travis Scott is up to 96, and Let Me Go by Haley Steinfeld, Alesso, Florida Georgia Line, and Watt is up to 90. No idea if either of those 2 are going to regain traction. I know with Miguel it always seems like a crapshoot, but hey, we'll see. They're both good. I wouldn't mind seeing them stick around. But now on to our rather sparse list of new arrivals yet again. And speaking of Florida Georgia Line, let's start off with number 98, Smooth by Florida Georgia Line.
You ain't even trying, 'cause you wrote the book. There ain't nobody do me like you. The way you move that body, girl, you're so smooth.
So if you can't tell by now, country music's been having a bit of an identity crisis in 2017, and nowhere has that felt more pronounced than the wavering fortunes of this duo, who broke out with bro country and have struggled with their sound in the past year as that scene's pretty much collapsed altogether. So why on earth they think still releasing singles from their lousy 2016 record was the right choice, I will have no idea. And here's the thing, if you're gonna title your song Smooth, you think that the groove or the tones would be something close to that, but instead we get croaking frogs, a clanking banjo groove, obviously fake snaps and claps, and our frontman braying over the first line of the hook that this girl goes down good. And here's a list of things that Florida Georgia Line compare this woman to: Sunday morning Elvis singing gospel, cat daddy driving a caddy to Cali, finger licking blackberry jam, and a brick road to Kansas. Seriously, the last thing the Florida Georgia Line should try to sing about is sex or women, because between the delivery, the content, and Joey Moy's overdone squawking production, it ain't working whatsoever, because this is kind of hilariously bad. Number 86, Beast Mode by A Boogie with the Hoodie featuring P&B Rock and YoungBoy Never Broke Again.
I got the cheat code. Spent 2 bands on some motherfucking jeans, ho. Those is Mike and Mary jeans, though. Yeah, bad little bitch, and she came from Puerto Rico. Yeah, she a freak hoe. I don't really wanna fall in love with a freak hoe. Yeah.
Okay, first off, if I'm singing a song called Beast Mode, I'm gonna be subconsciously comparing it to when Ludacris brought Real Fire with a song with that same title 2 years ago. And with the guests that Boogie brought on board here, I didn't exactly have high expectations, which was probably for the right reason given how underwhelming this song is. I mean, sure, the faded tones and the flute off the sparse trap progression, it's fine, but between Boogie's forgettable brand name flexing, P&B Rock saying he can't afford to slip up as he supports his daughter, even despite blowing money on diamonds, more brand names, and screwing your girl, because that makes sense, and YoungBoy going on a violent rant about slapping girls in between his flexing, and both the latter two trying to force any sort of melody with incredibly blatant auto-tune. Okay, look, for what this is, it's maybe passable if you take a look at the production, but it's also pretty forgettable, and doesn't exactly set the stage well for other songs in the album, like number 84, Undefeated by A Boogie with the Hoodie featuring 21 Savage.
I'm like, can I get some company? I'm like, damn, I'm really undefeated. Yeah. I think it's catching up to me. Nobody's catching up to me. Like, can I get some company? Like, damn, I'm really undefeated. Yeah.
Okay, can we deal with the obvious issue here first? Company does not rhyme with undefeated. There's that final syllable you can't exactly ignore there, no matter how much auto-tune you try to tack onto it. And yeah, it might fit the watery hollowness of this particular trap beat where A Boogie with the Hoodie is convinced that nobody's anywhere close to catching him, and yet he wants competition. And yet I think that's more because nobody really cares enough to call him out or deliver a smackdown on him, especially when you're more busy referencing your watch for a hashtag. Now, you know what, to his credit, 21 Savage feels a little bit more expressive and focused than usual, but it's not like his content is particularly witty or all that interesting either, which again leaves the song just feeling a little bit empty and disposable for me. Again, I can kind of dig some of the production, but I'd like Boogie to actually say something noteworthy against it. So let's go on to his next song with number 75, Say A by A Boogie with the Hoodie.
I told him I got tense because I'm rich, they said okay. Ay. Gotta pray a lot, niggas get shot up every day. Ay. Hold up. What the fuck I'm supposed to say? Police pull me over, they ain't got nothing to say. I told them I got tents because I'm rich, they said okay. Ay. Gotta pray a lot, niggas get shot up every day. Ay. Heard you got a big body, but a little face.
Y'all say it? Of Boogie's beats thus far, I probably like this one the most. Well, it's because that jaunty piano playing off the dense hi-hat beat with the thicker synth accents, it actually sounds kind of fun for once. Imagine that, when it actually fits the mood of flexing instead of drowning in dank, reverb-soaked tones. You can temper some of the edges and make some of the same empty content a little bit more tonally consistent. Now again, this still is not great. He's still rapping about taking your girlfriend and putting her in a leg lock like MMA, but it's at least a little bit telling how all the money flexing is slightly tempered by the reality of getting stopped by the cops and having nothing really much to say to them, especially when he did earn all his success off of his music. And while again, the song is peppered with brand names, it still feels kind of shallow, it's a brand of shallowness I can more easily endorse. Not bad, not really great here, but I could kind of like this. Number 74, No Promises by A Boogie with the Hoodie.
At least I was good to you. At least I was good to you. At least I was good to you. I can't make no fucking promises. Lifestyle getting out of control. Lifestyle getting ludicrous. I made $1 million less than a year and I blew that on stupid shit. Typed it in like how to make $1 million. I used to Google it.
So we now have the opening of Boogie's most recent album, which is really just one extended verse musing on, well, a lot, and I can't really say it helps matters that Boogie can't stay consistently on topic. Yes, the melancholic piano and the thicker bass on the trap beat fits the vibe, and he's at least somewhat honest about the toll that his lifestyle has taken on both his relationships and his own psyche, especially with the women who got shot at one of his concerts in March of this year that he's still clearly shaken over, and I don't blame him for that. But given his current situation, he can't make any promises going forward, even despite giving up all of his bitches for this girl, and then it didn't work out, but at least he was good for her. And, okay, look, I can't be the only one who feels that the emotional through line here feels kind of skewed and a little bit all over the place. For as much as Drake's style as Boogie is jacking here, and it's especially evident in his sing-song flow, he doesn't really capture Drake's storytelling ability or emotional consistency at his best. And here just kind of feels like a jumble, and not in a way that builds to a stronger emotion or actually fits any sort of themes. I guess that's some of the appeal, especially as Drake is still not on the Hot 100 right now, but you know what? There's just not that much here that connects. I get the appeal, but not for me. And finally, number 68, Hi Bich by Bhad Bhabie.
Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch. I do not sniff it or roll it. No. It do not drip when I pull it. No. I do not run, I reload it. No. I do not save it, I throw it. White J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch.
You know, there's a part of me that wants to get hyperbolic about this, that a bad internet meme is signed to a major label and now has more mainstream hip-hop success than more deserving and interesting female rappers like No Name, Rhapsody, Dreezy, Dessa. I could easily go on here. And with videos of Jake Paul pairing up with 21 Savage, I got the feeling this is only gonna get worse. But you know what? If the music is tolerable, I might be willing to give Bhad Bhabie a chance. But really, you need to actually have a full song in order for me to give her that chance. This is less than 2 minutes, most of it's an extended hook, and there's only one 8-bar burst against a beat that's more fuzzed out bass and actual melody. You know, maybe we'll hear some tone if you kind of squint for it, but beyond that, okay, how's the content? How's the rapping? Well, I hate to say it, but while the punchlines are basic on the verse, they're at least punchlines, and as much as her personality is obnoxious, there is personality. I can see she having charisma in the future, but again, it's barely a song. Yet I'd still say it's better than Smooth by Florida Georgia Line, which probably fails the hardest at whatever it's trying to do, so it's the worst of the week. As for the best, man, there's very little here, but I still think it goes to Say A by A Boogie with the Hoodie. Good production that actually kind of fits the content, and a melody that actually sticks with me. Good piano there, but man, what a flimsy week. Let's hope for something interesting in the pipeline. I don't even know what it's gonna predict. Let's let whatever happens. But until then, I'm Mark, you're watching Billboard Breakdown on Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.